So today we're going to do Google Forms. Now, Chris, we emailed a little bit yesterday. So pretty much we're going to be doing these through Google Classroom, correct? So that teachers can get the results in Google Classroom and students
I
can
think
see
that would
it.
make the most sense, right? We want to try to use this for assessments.
Yep.
And
That
any
makes
way
sense.
that we can kind of streamline the data and make it easier for the teachers to read and understand would be
Awesome.
beneficial.
All right. So what we're going to do, if everybody could open their chat. So in order to open your chat, if you're on a computer, what you'll want to do is go down to the bottom and you'll just see chat. If you're on an iPad, it might be from those three dots in the upper right corner. But everybody open your chat for me. And if you have trouble getting to your chat, just give a shout. There's no, no judgment here. Hold on. Also, I just want to make sure I'm logged into the correct accounts on my computer. Oh yeah, I'm good. Okay.
So the chat is just a blank white page that says chat?
Yep, you should, and there's
Okay.
nothing in there. Hold on, I'm gonna do hello. So you see my chat in there that says hello, correct? Anybody
Right.
need help? Anybody need help getting to there? All right. So what I'm gonna do right now is I am going to send you a link to a form. So in the chat, there should be a link. If you tap on it, it will bring you a form that this is just a survey kind of form. So remember when Chris and Keith sent out in the beginning of all this, a survey for your PD needs?
Mm-hmm.
That was done in Google Forms. And that's just a survey to get some information. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen here. Let me click on the link first. So I'm going to click on the link. And then I'm going to share my screen. What you should see is this Google Forms workshop temp check. So I just want to get a feel for where we're at in the room. All right, and anybody who's just arriving, this is not essential, but if you go to your chat, you will see a link to this form, okay? If not, you're seeing what we do too. So how are you feeling today? Now, I gave you the option. This is a checklist, and we're going to go over the different kinds of questions, but you can click more than one thing here. So let's say you're feeling worried but excited. You could do two, or maybe you're just excited. So whatever you want to do there. And then at the bottom, on a scale of 1 to 4, that really was, I should have put a comma there or something. How comfortable are you with Google Forms? Probably should have put a question mark there too. I made this form a little quickly. Okay, you would probably be a little bit more careful when you're dealing with your children. So are you not comfortable? Or do you know it cold, or are you somewhere in the middle? Now I'm going to do the way I'm doing. So I'm excited today, and I know it pretty cold. I hope I do, or else I wouldn't be teaching you right now. So then I go submit. Okay. Now, if I go to, and I'm logged in as the teacher. I thought I gave it a name. Now what you're seeing right now is the teacher view. Okay, before you saw the student view. Hold on, I gotta shrink you guys up. Before you saw the student view, now this is the teacher view. Here are my questions. Now I can see the responses. Okay, a lot of people are happy. Was I worried? No, somebody's worried. A couple of people are excited. How comfortable are you? Cool. Some people know it cold. Some people are pretty comfortable. Don't worry over here. So after this, you'll feel comfortable, we hope. And this is being recorded. So if you have trouble, you can always go back to the recording, okay? But this is one way you can use Google Forms. What my plan is, and Chris, you tell me if you like this plan. What my plan here is, I'm thinking that I will show you how to use Google Forms through Google Classroom. And then I will also show you how to, at the end, after I'm done showing you how to do it through Google Classroom, anybody that wants to stick around, I'll show you how to do a survey. How's that sound, Chris? Good? All right. So that's the plan. So the one I showed you is just if you go to Google Forms and create a form, and you're just looking to get some feedback, not real hard assessment where you want kids to know their scores and you want a real score for the kids. That would be just a survey. But what's really cool is Google sets up Google Classroom so that you can give them a survey, but turn it into an assessment. Okay, and they're called quiz assignments. So now what I'm going to do, actually, let me just see if anybody has, mine says you need permission. Tama, that means you're not logged in to your Google account, your Rockville Center Google account. The way
I got it.
What's that?
I'm sorry, I got it.
Yeah, good. No, I'm
Yeah,
glad you
great.
did that because that's a good conversation to have. I'm going to go over this when we get into the session later, you know, when we do the survey. But there is something I could have turned on that would allow anybody to take the survey. You wouldn't have to be you wouldn't have to be logged in with your Rockville Center Google account. But just like I forgot the comment and the question mark, I forgot to click that button. So, but you know, when you're doing this with your students and they're going through Google Classroom, that's a moot point because they're going to be logged in with their Google account anyway. That make sense? Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share my screen again. And I'm going to go to my browser here. And the way we do this, I'm going to get rid of this here. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to Google Classroom. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to build this inside my remote learning class. So this way you'll be able to see this when, you know, when you're playing around later, if you need to a little bit more practice. All right. So what you want to do when you have to be in Google Classroom, you have to be the teacher in Google Classroom. So if you're a student in Google Classroom, you cannot make a quiz assignment. You must be a teacher in Google Classroom in order to make a quiz assignment. So you can't do it from the stream. You have to do it from the classwork section. This is where you post all of your materials that you can have nice and organized inside here. Okay. So what you'll do is you'll go create quiz assignment. Now what a quiz assignment is, it's just like a normal assignment, except for that it uses forms to create this quiz for you. And it can be graded. It could be graded completely by Google if you keep your questions as multiple choice, check boxes, or some short answer stuff too, and we'll get into that. Or it could be graded partially by Google, partially by you if you want to do a bunch of multiple choice and short answer and checklists, check boxes, and then have some long answer questions. Google can grade all your long answer questions and you would go back in and grade your, Google would grade all your short questions, you know, your multiple choices and whatnot. And then you would manually go in and grade your long answers, okay? So what you're gonna do in here, you're going to put a title. And you know what I need to do? I need to pull up my chat. So if anybody has any questions as we're going, I'm not sure if you're sticking around, Chris, but if you can keep an eye on that too, that would be awesome. So let me see. Let me go to my more chat. Okay. Looks like we're okay so far. All right. So just throw something in the chat if you have a question. So for the assignment, I'm just going to say demo quiz assignment ASS or summer program PD. Okay. You could give them some instructions. Do your best. Don't cheat. You wouldn't really do that, but you get the idea. I'm just trying to be light. Oy. Don't. You can put emojis inside these as well, just to let you know. Okay. They're always fun. Now, what you'll do here, you see where it says blank quiz? Google automatically builds the form for you. You're going to use this form. What you don't want to do is create the form outside of Google Classroom and then attach it. Because while they'll get a link to that form, you won't be able to view your grades inside of Google Classroom, which makes it a lot more simple. Okay? So from here, what I'm going to do is I click on blank quiz. It's going to open this quiz for me, and this is where I'm going to build my quiz. Okay? First of all, you're going to give it a name again. So I'm going to say, this is my demo quiz for summer PD. Okay. Here we go. I can give it a description. Teaching you the features. Okay. Now, this is your title. And for some reason in forms, when you're doing it through Google Classroom, it doesn't automatically give you the name up here. Normally, whatever you have in the top in the title, when I click up here, normally it would name it for me. And when we do it this way, for some reason, it doesn't. So what I do is I highlight the title, and then I click up in there and I paste it in. Okay, so this way, this matches this. Now, one kind of question you have is a multiple choice. So like I said, well, when you're doing this, just living and learning, I would, just in case something goes funky, or when you want to go back and look at the form later, it's nice to ask them their name. Okay? You want them to put their name in there. This way, when we look at the results later, you'll see that it's a lot easier to tell whose responses are whose. So you would put a name. You see it goes to short answer text, okay? And then what they will do is they'll be typing their name in that field, all right? That's what I would do first. Then to get the next question, I would come up to this plus sign. When I go to the plus sign, I get a new question. It always assumes I want to do a multiple choice, okay? So the multiple choice question is, what color is the sky? Is it red? I know it could be all these different things. What is the sky usually? Is it green? Is it yellow? Is it blue? Okay, so from here, and you see I just clicked and put these answers in here, all right? I could add other where they would be able to type something in, but when you're doing an assessment, that's probably not a good idea, okay? Because you want Google to be able to grade this easily for you. Now, when you are doing this as, as a quiz, you need to come down to answer key, okay? In the answer key, you're going to tell Google what the correct answer is, and you're also going to assign it a point value. So when I go into answer key, I say the correct answer here is blue. And then I could give them feedback if I wanted to. So you could tell them why one of the answers is correct. Like, it's not specific to if they're right, they get this, if they're wrong, they get that. And they will see at the end, they'll be able to see their results. But if you wanted to give them answer feedback, you could. Then how many points do you want this to be worth? I'm going to make this worth 2 points. Okay. And then I say done. Okay. That is a multiple choice. I can add another question. These are all the different types of questions I have. Short answer, paragraph. Now, paragraph will never be graded by Google Classroom or Google, okay? You're going to have to go in and read it and give it a point value, okay? But multiple choice check boxes, drop downs, these will all be graded by Google, as will short answer. I'm going to get to that one last. So you have multiple choice where you pick one answer. You can also have a checkbox where you could pick more than one answer. Which numbers are even? Option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Okay? Then these are checkboxes. I can select more than one checkbox. Okay? So I go to my answer key. 2, 4, and 8. This is going to be worth And another thing to note, you can't say this is going to be worth 3 points and they get 1 point per answer. It's all or nothing. So they either get it completely correct, or if they get one thing wrong, it's going to be counted wrong. So I'm just going to give this one 2 points as well. Everything's going to be 2 points. And then I say done. Okay? Let me see something.
Laura, I don't mean to
Yes,
interrupt.
yeah. Thank you. Yep,
Should they be clicking required for each one as well?
yep. Yes, you should. So require, you see this button here? Thank you for that, Chris. The
You got it.
required button here. Required. Required just means that they cannot submit the quiz without an answer to that question. Okay? Thanks. Let me see. How do you put the emojis? Okay, I'm going to show you that one next. So now, let's say I'm going to do another multiple choice. There's two cool ways you can use images. So in the question, you could put an image. Now look, I clicked on, and I didn't tell you what I was doing there. Here's the question. Here is an image. I can put in an image. Now, I could find an image, save it to my computer, and then click here and upload it. So let's say, let me show you that way. So let's do a graphing worksheet. Right. Now, you know what I'm going to do? Graphing image. Let's try this for a sec. I'm sorry, I have my thing in front of, I can't see what I'm doing because I have all my tools all over the place. Graphing image. So if I go to images, all right, let's say this image. I'm not even going to try to pretend that I know anything about this, but if I go here and I right click on it and I say save image as and throw it to my desktop, this is graph. I'm going to move that again. I'm on my desktop. I say save. When I come here, I can, let me show you that again. I go to this icon for the pictures. I can upload, browse my computer. I'm going to look on my desktop. You could save it wherever you want. I just find this the easiest. There is the image. What? I don't know. I have no idea what you would ask for this question, but you get the idea. So you could say -4, 3, 2. I think you get the idea, right? So you would ask a question on this image, and then here are the answers. I go to my answer key. I pick one that's correct. I give it a point value. I say done. Don't forget, like Chris reminded us, to make it required. Okay, that's one way to use images. Another way is to put images as your answers. So if I go to this plus sign, how are you feeling today? Now this is one that I might not give points to, all right, because you don't, you wouldn't want to penalize them for how they're feeling. So how are you feeling today? When I go to option 1 over here, you see this image, add image. I could do a Google image search from here too. Happy emoji. I like this guy. He's cute. I say insert. And then I could say happy. Or I don't have to put a label if I don't want to. And then here's another option. I'm just going to do 2 for you here. Sad emoji. You happy or you sad today? This might be a cool thing to just put in there. To get, just to know for yourself. If somebody does really well, you might want to look at how they're feeling that day. And then I'm not even going to go to the answer key. Another cool thing I could do, so this one, I could still require it. And you'll see, if I go, you see how it says it's 0 points? That's okay. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this up at the top. You see what I did here? I grabbed these dots and I moved it. First, let's see how you're feeling today. Then we're gonna, oh, maybe your name should go first. So I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna just pop it, whoops. I'm gonna pop it above. How are you feeling today? Ask them their name. How are you feeling today? Now get down to business, okay? So we've done pictures, we've done check boxes, we've done multiple choice. Okay. Add a question. Where did I add the question? The question got added up top because that's where so I had name selected. That's why it added it up here. So I could drag it down or I could delete that question. Do you see what I did over here? If I'm in here, I'm getting all thrown off because of my tools. My Zoom tools are everywhere. When I'm in here, I could delete it. Okay. So if you want it to be below this one, I would click on this one and then I add the question and it's right there. All right. So what day is it today? All right. This is going to be a short answer. Now today we know is Wednesday, right? So I'm going to go to my answer key. Watch this. So they're going to type an answer in. But if I go to my answer key, I could tell them, I can give a couple of correct answers. So I could say today is Wednesday, Wednesday. Or maybe they just want to put WED. Maybe they want to put a W. But if they don't type it and it is case sensitive. So you might even want to do like this. If they don't type something that is exactly like one of these, they're going to get it wrong. Okay, does anybody have any question on that? Give this one 2 points also. I'm going to say done. I'm going to say it's required.
Laura, what about spelling? Like what if it's...
Yep, spelling. It has to be exactly the way you see it. So if they can't spell Wednesday, they're going to get that wrong. So to be honest, I'm not sure how fair those questions are. I don't know how great those questions are, but it is an option for you in Google. Okay. You may want to just do it as some sort of multiple choice. Okay. Let's see. We also have a paragraph. Okay. What was the theme of the novel? You know, you would be more specific than that, but you get the idea. And this is going to be a paragraph. This one, you'll give it points. You might even want to make this one worth 10 points because it's a little bit longer. Okay. And then you say, done. There we go. Let me see if I missed anything that I wanted to teach you. I wouldn't get in. I'm not going to get into all this stuff. Well, you could do linear scale. You get that one from 1 to whatever. But I don't know. That's not something that would provide you a lot of information that's, you know, good for a quiz probably. And I think that's what you need to know when you're building your assessment. Did I make this one required? I always forget that. I always forget to say make things required. All right, I'm going to delete this. Another nice option you see is this duplicate. So let's say you wanted one like this. That wouldn't be a good idea. Like this, you could duplicate this and then just change what you wanted to change. Duplicate, it's the same one. You could just go in there and make changes if you had similar questions. All right, I'm going to delete this. All right, any questions so far? That's just building it. So what we did was we went to, and let me tell you this again. So in here, the nice thing about Google is everything is automatically saved. Okay, so I don't have to worry about it. It's not, I don't have to save it. When I come out of here, I'm just going to return to my Google Classroom and everything is saved. So I'm going to X out of this. And the first time you do it, you're going to be unnerved, but trust me, it's going to be fine. It's all attached. Oh, and I went in here. It's all attached. Now, for some reason, it stays blank quiz. until I save it and then come back to it. I don't know why, but this is the quiz. If I click on it, you will see I'm going to see it's got the correct title. Okay, this is the quiz I gave. All right, so here we are. Now, one of the reasons you want to do it this way is you have grade importing, where everything comes nicely into Google Classroom, where kids can see that you can see everything at a glance. You can't see all the details. I'm going to show you how to see all the details in a minute, but you can see all their results at a glance in here. And then also kids can see their results inside Google Classroom once you release them as well. Okay.
So Laura, one quick question. When
Yeah, go for it.
When you create this, in other words, where you have all those like short answers, it'll grade the short answers for you. But if you put one long response at the end, you go in and you grade that then.
Yep, I'm going to show you how to do that.
Okay.
too.
Great,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome. So here we go. So now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do it on my iPad because it's just easier. The kids are going to be on an iPad, but it looks the same. But I'm going to go in as a different Rockville Center student. Here we go. This Rockville Center student is part of this class. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into, oh wait, I didn't assign it. Hello. Helps if I assign it. Hold on. Where am I? All right. So here I am. So now when I want, you know what we're going to do? This chat window is driving me crazy. If you have a question, just unmute yourself, okay? And then shout it out. That seems to be working fine because the chat is totally in my way. So here, from here, what I'll want to, first of all, remember, I have my folder for you guys. So this is the class we're in, and I want it to be in all students. How many points is it worth? It's not really, that doesn't matter too much. It takes it more from the form, I think. I'm not going to have a due date. What topic do I want it to be in? I want it to be in the summer programs PD. That's where I want it to go. There we go. Then I'm going to assign this. So everybody who's a member of this class will see this demo quiz assignment for summer program. I get it? Okay. So now that's the teacher side. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the student side. So I'm going to go in as a student. I'm going to go into Google Classroom. I'm going to go to my remote learning class. See, it shows up here in my feed. It's the first thing. I can also see it in the classwork section. If I go to the classwork section, I'll see it right here. See that? And you see it's orange because I'm able to do something with it. These materials that I usually post is nothing. You just look at it. So that's why that looks like that. So I go in here, and now I could take this quiz. So I click on it. My name is Laura Collin. You might even want to say first and last or something. Then how am I feeling today? I'm feeling pretty happy. I'm going to get this one wrong. I'm going to get this one right. I don't even remember what I put as the answer for this one, so I'm just going to guess. What day is today? Today is I'm just trying when. All right, I'm spelling it wrong so you can see. What was the theme of the novel? It was a great novel. The theme was, you get the idea. Now, when I go, send me a copy of my responses, it will email it to the kids. Kids don't use email anyway, but they could do that. I'm going to say submit. View score. And right now I see this one was not scored. This one I got wrong. This one I got right. This one I got right. I remembered. Now this one is wrong. Correct answers. It tells me the correct answers. And then this one, it looks like it's wrong, but I have to go in as the teacher and grade it. Okay?
Laura?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a way that teachers can turn off that feature so that kids don't get to see their grade right away, just so that they have that option?
Yep. Okay, let's take a look. So that's a good segue into when I'm in my form. Now I'm back as my teacher. You see, this is my little teacher icon. When I'm back in as a teacher, if I go in here and I come up to the dots and edit the assignment. So I'm editing my assignment. I go into here. There's some options. Oh no, I can't now. Now I can't. Once somebody takes it, I have to go and look at it in forms. So in order to do that, there's a couple of ways to get to forms. If I go get a new tab from my waffle, I can go to forms. Or I can go to forms, watch this, forms.google.com. That will bring me to forms as well. Here is the most recent form is the one I'm looking at. You know, this will be your recent ones. It'll probably be up here. So I'm going to click on it here. Now I'm looking at it as a teacher. What I neglected to show you was the settings. In the settings, there's a couple of things you can do. You can require a sign-in. See, this is restricts to users in Rockville Center schools. This is where I had this selected before when Tam, I think it was, couldn't see it. You have to be logged into Rockville Center. You could take that off if you wanted to, but like I said, in order for them to be in Google Classroom, they're going to be logged in anyway. Limit to one response. I think that's a good feature, but if you want them to be able to do more than one, you could do that. All right. Edit after submit. I wouldn't want that. See summary. Let's see. The quiz. Let's look at the presentation one. Show the progress bar that goes one at a time and lets them see how far they're, you know, what number they're on. Shuffle question order. If you're face-to-face, this is a good one. So everybody in the class isn't getting the same question at the same time. It makes it more difficult to cheat. And then you can give them a message. You can customize your message down here. Now in the quiz, make it a quiz. Yep. Release grade immediately later after manual review. That's a better idea when you're putting in your own long questions, your paragraph response. Can they see their missed questions, correct answers, point values? Okay. So you don't want to release a grade. That should change it right there. So I say save. I'm feeling like I want to check that though. Is that okay? I'm going to check that. I'm going to make sure. I'm going to take it one more time. If I can get this right. I think it's, I have one more demo account. Oh, dot student, Laura C. Dot student. Little out of practice, sorry. Hold on. There we go. So now, let's see what happens. If I go to Google Classroom, I don't care about my Bitmojis right now, and I go into remote learning, classwork, quiz, take the quiz. Feeling happy. Sky is blue. 2, 4, 8, 3. Okay, submit. Let's see what happens. Yeah. See, I can't see it that way. So let me I'm going to show you that again where that is. I'm going to show you again where that is. So if I go in as the teacher again, remember, you have to do this from Google Forms. Okay, you don't want to do this from Classroom. You want to do it from Google Forms. Hold on, I'm going to mute everybody again. All right. So now, what you're going to do here is you go to the settings. So I went to the form. Let me show you how to get there again. Forms.google.com. Demo quiz. This settings cog. And that is in the quizzes section. Make sure you say later after manual review. Okay. Now, what you'll do is you go to responses and you go to individual, because I want to look at each kid's information. So down here, I'm going to read, what was the theme of the novel? It was a great novel. The theme was, that wasn't so bad. I'm going to give her an 8. And I save it. Okay. See how I'm doing that? Why can't I mute all here? Then I go on to the next one. I'm at 1 of 2. I go on to the next person. I see this is LC. Okay, okay. What was the theme of the novel? It was awesome. That was a great answer, Laura. There we go. You get a 10 out of 10. Okay? So now they're all answers. And let's say you do some, like, let's say you're playing around and you're like, okay, I am going to try this short answer. And you, after the words, you realize, oh boy, that really was not fair. I'm going to give them the credit. You can always change their score here too. You see? I can always change their score in here as well. All right? So it's forgiving. All right? Now, here's the thing. So now they have their scores. I've updated their scores. When I come back to Google Classroom, I have this grade importing on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of the editing mode. And I want to view the assignment. Let me get your head, let you get your head around this. I'm back in my remote learning classroom as a teacher. I go to the classwork tab, I find this assignment, I view the assignment. Then from here, what I want to do is import the grades. Import grades, import. And you see how it changed it? It was out of 100, now it changed it for me. So when you're making the assignment, don't worry about how many points it is. Just worry about the points that you're putting on individual questions, okay? And then Google does all the calculations for you, which is really nice. Okay? Then, if you want them to get their scores, you can, and I actually could select everybody, but I can return these to these 2 kids so that then they'll be able to see their scores. Okay. I think they go to do they go to the back of the list? Oh no, they just go, I don't know where they go. I have so many people in this. Let me see.
Laura, forgive me for if you said this
go
already.
ahead. At the bottom, great.
Is there a way to import that into a spreadsheet?
Yes. Okay. So now, in order to do that, you want to go back to the form. So you have to think about when you're in Google Classroom, you're getting an overview. You're getting the final results. If you want to get the nitty-gritty, you have to go into the form through Google Forms. This is the most confusing part about it. Okay, so if you're feeling a little lost, just hang with me for a minute and then we can ask questions to clarify, okay? So when I go in here, I'm going to go to Google Forms again. The last form should be the one, I'm working on it, so it's here, but you'll look for the form that you want and open it. Then when you go to responses, you can create a spreadsheet of the responses. Create a new spreadsheet, create, and it's making a Google sheet. Tells me when they took it, their email address, their score, then their name. So instead of deciphering, especially with summer school, you don't have them for too long. So instead of deciphering their email, if you put that name field in there, it'll be much easier for you to know who's who and what they got, how they're feeling. So you get the idea here. Is that what you needed, Chris, or did you need more than that?
No, that looks good. I just wanted to see like a way that teachers can view everything at a glance and kind of keep everything organized.
Yep. And then you even see, so you see their score, you could see over here who, what their answers were. So you could see that in 2 places. You could see that here if you go to individual and you look through and you see, or you could do questions to see, okay, how many people, oh, no, I'm sorry. Responses, summary, sorry. Or by question, sorry.
Can you
Responses-
add columns to that spreadsheet? So like,
Yeah,
let's
this is-
say you wanted
this
to add your own column that wasn't a question on the quiz, you could put it
Yep.
in there. You could doctor that up anyway.
Yep,
And
Yes,
that's a Google, so that's, I think it's important people know also that that's a Google spreadsheet. So it's not like your typical like Excel spreadsheet, it's a Google spreadsheet. So you can see that green icon in the upper right-hand corner that says share. You
Yep.
could share that with me, with another
Okay.
teacher. So
Yep.
there's ways of getting that information out.
yep. So if you wanted to, let's say you want to share this with Chris, I go to the share icon, add people, oh, sorry. Wonder why they're all here. Oh, because these are people that, these guys are showing up because they're people that I have recently shared stuff with. But if I go here, if I do Chris, I can go to Chris Zappia and then I can send it to him. And what do? I want him to be an editor or do I just want him to view it? Okay. Or maybe I
Right.
want him to be able to leave a comment. And I say send. He will get an email that says I'm sharing this with him. It will also appear in his list of shared documents shared with him in his drive. So here now, it's sharing this with I wonder why this is sharing this with Janine and Chris and everybody. I don't know why. That's weird.
I'm thinking that this is also a good way to, just even using the spreadsheet, the Google spreadsheet of like sharing grades with me. And then I could share those grades, like your final grades, like students who pass, like pass, fail. You have your roster of your students, pass, fail, send that to me at the end. And then I could forward that over to Southside High School principal, John Murphy. So he
Yeah.
can input those grades as well. Put him as someone that you would share it with as well.
Yep. That's awesome.
Just thinking ahead.
Yep. That's great. That's
Cool.
great.
And we'll talk, anyone here, I know this is a lot of information and
So
believe me, we're kind of figuring some things out as we're going along, but this has been very helpful, I think. And then just a way of sharing grades in this virtual environment and sharing information going back and forth. So we'll kind of work this out as we go along as well. So I don't want to overwhelm anybody too much in the
Right.
beginning.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you have questions, that's okay. I expect that. So we'll work it
Yeah.
out as we go along.
And just remember, like Chris can attest, when we were doing forms, like I would go into a training and be like, I'm not sure. Well, you sir, even here, I'm like, oh, I'm not 100% sure. Let me check and make sure that's the way it works. Unfortunately, the whole, we've been hearing it over and over. It's the building the plane as we're flying it. You know what I mean? We're learning it as we go. But the good news is people have been really understanding. So if something doesn't go right, it's not the end of the world, right? It's a good time to learn this stuff. So do we have any questions? I know that was a lot. So the process is you go into Google Classroom. Do you want me to show you this? I'm just going to show you briefly.
It looked like Denise had a question I saw in the comments.
Yeah.
Okay, Denise, go ahead. Go
Can
ahead.
you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so I was noticing when you were editing, like, I don't know if it was editing the quiz, there was something there that said prevent students from accessing something else. Like, in other words, they can't go on to Google and look up an answer, but it
Yeah.
said available for Chromebook. So
Chromebook.
does that mean it won't work on the iPad?
Correct.
That
Well,
stinks.
Yeah.
Because, then they can just go on to anything and look up every answer.
Yeah. To be honest though, Denise, when you're in a remote environment, even if you lock down their device, they have 47 other devices at home that they could just go.
True. Yeah.
So-
Okay. I just thought that was interesting
Yeah,
to
it is
use,
interesting,
but too
but
bad they
it is-
can't access that. Too bad you
Yeah.
can't lock their iPad and do that.
I know. Test
Especially
taking
if
is
we're
always
going to be doing
it's
some
such a
virtual
question.
classes in September. That's going to be a huge problem.
Yep. True.
Because,
Yeah, so
I
we're going to
mean,
use this as the testing ground, right? So
Yeah.
your concerns, you're going to bring that to your administrators. You can say, listen, I have experience with this. This is something that's happened. What could we do to try to problem solve it?
right, because it'll be so easy, especially the students that we know that usually are
Yeah.
like 70 students, and now everyone's getting 100 on their quizzes. Really? Like, come on.
I know. Well, the thing is, the beauty of it is that we can keep Zoom on while they're doing Google Forms.
I know.
So,
Mhm.
I mean, that at least we have that. The policy is going to be cameras on, mics on. I'm working on a student contract that I'm going to send out to all the Regents teachers that you can post and you can go over, and you can even make that like your first homework assignment, read this over, kids sign this, and part of that is, and part of that contract is that their mics are on, their
Right.
cameras
I get
are on
that.
at all
Yeah.
times.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we're going to do the best we can. I mean, we can't be there. We actually physically can't be there to watch them. We have to do the best we can through the iPad and through the cameras. So
Okay.
we're going to work this out, you know,
Yeah.
we'll work it out.
We did notice though, Chris, yesterday, right, that when they leave Zoom to go do a form on that same iPad,
Mhm.
that you don't see them anymore. You just see their profile picture.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know if you're gonna want them to have a second device. That's a little difficult.
Yeah, that's an issue too.
Okay. All right. We'll work it out.
Flying the plane while we're building it,
We'll
always.
do the best we can.
Yep.
We'll do the best
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah,
Any
that
other-
would be.
All right.
Any other
That would
questions?
be, Caroline, that would be difficult, like as a reader, if you weren't able to see the kids while you were reading. You know, I'm just sort of projecting, and I think it would be difficult. It's, you know, you can't really see what they're up to. Are they following along?
Yeah.
Well,
If they're checked out.
here's the thing,
Yeah.
Carolyn, you're talking about though, if you go to, if you leave the Zoom or if the kid leaves the Zoom, because if you leave.
No,
the
if we're doing a test or a quiz and I have to read it to some of the students and they have the test or the quiz in front of them on their iPad, then
Yep.
I can't see them as I'm reading to them.
Yep.
So I'm just, you know,
Yeah.
projecting and
Yep.
have to have more mental agility or figure out, you know, what
Mhm.
might be going on. That's all. I'm
Right.
just throwing it out there as a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good one. Any other
I have a
thoughts or
quick
questions?
question. Yeah. Hi, how are you, Laura?
Good.
This is Steve Kilnick. Hi, everybody.
Steve.
Hello. So a lot of my worksheets are already printed out. Rather than recreating them, is there a way to scan them in and then create like an answer key so Google can mark those?
Yeah. Okay, so you have them electronically though, right? Or do you have them hard copy?
Well, a lot of it's back at my school.
Okay,
I'm over at MacArthur in Levittown.
okay.
So,
Well-
I have binders at home.
All right, so
Fine.
this is what you can, what kind of computer do you use?
I use a Mac.
You use a Mac. Okay, this is what I would do. I would either, you could take pictures. You want to get them in a digital form. So I don't know, how would you get them digitized? Would you take pictures? Would you scan?
I would scan them.
Okay, good. So you have a scanner?
Yes.
Okay, so you scan your picture, and I could show you this because I'm on a Mac.
Mhm.
The PC would be slightly different. So you scan it, and it becomes either a JPEG or a PDF. It really doesn't matter. All right, let me share my screen with you. So once you have that worksheet, this is what I would do. I would go, I don't know. I know you might not teach math, but I'm just going to get a worksheet because I want something. Well, tell me, what do you teach?
Earth science.
So I'm just grabbing any old worksheet.
Mhm.
All right, so let's say I'm looking for a good one with some images or some questions. All right, let's take this one. So what you do is you, of course, it's not free.
Yeah.
Whatever. Can I look at this big? Ugh. All right, one more try. One more try before I do something else. Here we go. So let's say, no, it's not doing it, but let's say this is a question up here. You want to take a screenshot of this. Now on your Mac, if you hold the Command and the Shift and type a 4, you can draw a box around what you want to take a picture of. And then what it does, it sends it to my desktop as an image. You see? There's that image.
Here.
All right, so you would do one question at a time. And
Cool.
I would even just, you could even do, you know, question 1. Go in and rename it. Then go back and get your next question. Command Shift 4, draw a box around it. Okay? I'm gonna go back here. This one is gonna be, it's gonna happen in a sec. There it is. Question 2. You get the idea. These are images now. So when I go into my Google form, I'm going to pull up my form that I was working with before. Over here, I'm going to add a question. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get the image. This is going to be, I'm going to upload it, browse from my desktop, question 1. That becomes my image, and I can ask my question, and here are my answers. I don't want it to be short answer, probably multiple choice. You get the idea?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. That's how I would do it.
Okay, thank you.
And if you're on a PC and want to do the same thing, there's something called the snipping tool. So if anybody, is anybody interested in that? I can't show it to you, but I could put a video in the class, in the, you know, my Google Classroom. Is anybody on a PC that would want to do something similar? Give a shout. No?
Yeah, it might be good if we want to, you know, copy a paragraph from a book and have them.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
And you have a
Yes,
PC?
that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that
I
I
have
have
both.
to.
I mean, right now I'm doing PC, I'm doing an iPad, but Diane, I don't know what you're going to be working on.
You know, you could do all these things too.
I'm
Pull
gonna be
them
on a
up on your
laptop, an iPad,
iPad.
on a phone. So.
Yeah, you pull it up on your iPad or your phone. Take a
And maybe a
screenshot.
second computer.
Yeah, and then you got to email it to yourself. It's easier if you could just do it on the computer. And remember, you have to be on a computer when you're making these forms.
Yes.
Okay, can
absolutely.
you show us,
Okay.
the snippet quickly?
I can't show you the snipping tool, but what I'm going to do.
A video. Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm
great.
going to, because I'm not going to, I have to find it. It's somewhere in my materials. So I'm going to find it and I'm going to put it in, wait, let me share my screen again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in my Google Classroom. Whoopsie, here we go. I'm going to put it in this Google Forms materials. So you'll see
Okay.
create a quiz assignment. You'll see, you know, taking a screenshot with on a PC, and you'll see the recording for this video.
Great. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. I can't show it to you because I'm not on a PC. So sorry. Any other questions? Actually, Trish Montemorano made the video for me because I don't even have a PC in my house. Any other questions? We good?